the Civil War Guru Show. My name is Steve Munson, and I am the Civil War Guru. And today I'm so excited I can't even hardly talk. That's hard to believe. But I have a matched pair of Benjamin Mills, Harrisburg, Kentucky pistols. And we're going to go into the office and lay them on the desk here and get some good close-up shots. This is the only matched pair known in the world. And Benjamin Mills got a fantastic history about him, and we'll speak about that when we go in the office. I kind of want to stand out here in the warehouse so y'all can see these bronze cannons sitting on each side of me and George Washington in the background. So let's go inside the office and see what these things look like. Okay, we moved inside of the office here, and we got these two Benjamin Mills pistols laid out. We can see them. And I also have next to it a fabulous book. It's called Kentucky Gunmakers, and it's by Shelby Galeen. And it goes through all the gunmakers of Kentucky. And of course, Benjamin Mills is in there. Now, Benjamin Mills started making guns here in Kentucky in the late 1830s, and it continued on up until the 1850s. And then he went up and was the armorer at Harper's Ferry. And a footnote on him is that he was there when John Brown made his raid, and he was held hostage. And then after he got out of that, he come back and the Civil War broke out, and he went down, I believe, to Georgia and worked in the, I believe, Thomas Griswold, or not Thomas Griswold, but Griswold Gunderson's factory that made revolvers. But anyway, he was a colorful guy and a genius on gunsmith and making guns. And another little note on him, in 1842, Kid Carson passed up the old Samuel Hawkins and St. Louis guns, came all the way to Harrisburg to buy guns for the John Fremont expedition in 1842. So this guy was known throughout the country for his accuracy, his quality, and it was just unparalleled with anybody else. I mean, he was the top guy. And in Kentucky during the 1840s and 50s, they did a lot of target shooting, and he made exquisite target guns. But this is a matched pair, the only known set in the world. And we'll get up close because there's a lot of details on this particular set. This set's early. This could be the late 1830s. And on his early set, he never engraved guns. Both of these got engraving around the locks. And they're only marked Mills, and that's exactly what they should be. And they have the standard saw handle, look and grip, and the rear sight and front sight. And these are, like I say, they're just absolutely breathtaking, especially for me, a guy from Kentucky. And growing up and collecting, and I've had several pass through my hands, not pistols, rifles. And the pistols are absolutely extinct. Now we're going to get up close on them, and because I want you to see the details and see some of the engravings and see the markings, of course. And I'm going to turn the camera off, and we'll get the tape roll out, and we'll measure the barrels and that kind of thing. So we're going to go to the next one. Just bear with me. Okay, we got the camera repositioned, and I put a tape roll down there. And actually, they're about overall length's about 8.5. The tape roll's moving a little bit on me. And the barrels are approximately between 5 and 5.5 inches. Now I'm going to zoom in and get some of this engraving around the lock plate, and then we'll spin the gun around and look at the sights, and then also look at the markings. So bear with me. I'm going to try not to make it too dizzy when I get over here and start zooming down on this lock area. Let's see what it's going to look like, because it'll take a second for it to refocus. But I want to get it down there where you can actually get a good look at it there. We're getting there. Okay. Now you see the chasing on the lock plate there at the bottom and around it. And then you see the chasing there on the hammer. And Ben Mills didn't do this. Most of his guns, and actually I looked at a collection that had several rifles in it, and none of the rifles are chased or engraved like this. But that's what his engraving looked like. It's a European look. But you can see how the lock's held on there, or the hammer's held on there. You can see that open face nut there. And then I'm going to bend down just a little bit so you can see the trigger guard. And you can see that there's a set screw behind that trigger. And that's real cool because he could adjust it. Like I said, this guy precision was one of his most important ingredients on his guns to make them so trustworthy, reliable, and accurate. All right, now I'm try to back out and see where we go, and hopefully wouldn't make too dizzy. I'm going to get the back of the saw handle, try to zoom down there, and here we go. It'll take a second to refocus. There we go. See if it'll refocus. I might have to back it back out a little bit. Yeah. Alright, here we go. Alright. Now you can see that spur sticking up there at the rear of the top of the handle. That's actually a V sight, and I'll roll it over where you can get a look at the top of it. And this is what he had, his design for his rifles and his pistols. They call this the sawtooth design. Pretty cool. Now I'm going to try to roll forward, and we'll get the side view of the front sight. I'm making it too dizzy. Get it up a little more. See if, it takes a while for these things to refocus. There we go. And it'll take a second to refocus, so bear with me. Hopefully my son can edit that out. There we go. And that's a blade front sight. And again, I'm going to roll it up here, and where you can actually see what it looks like. And then I'm going to back it all the way back here, and we're going to flip the gun over to where you see the back side of it there. Alright, I'm going to turn the camera off a second. Okay, we got it turned around, and I'm going to try to zoom in and get a close-up of the back of that rear section of the gun where the etching is. And like I say, it'll take a second to refocus once I get it down there. Kind of bend around a little bit here. There we go. And you can see the detail on the engraving. And also you can look at the stair step way the back of the receiver is cut, and that the pistol grip fits up against it. Then you got a long metal tang running down the back. Right, it just keeps running down from the trigger guard. Then of course you have the saw handle on top, which the metal tang runs all the way out to the rear of the gun. That was unique. And again, you can see the set screw, and you can see how the trigger's almost straight. It's like a target gun. And you can actually see the seam where the barrels screws into the receiver there. And let me see if I can get it up on the end here where you can see the top of it. Then we'll get on the top, almost to the top, you'll see the mill stamp on it. All right, so hang on, bear with me. Okay, now we get it up there, and you can see the top. You can see the rear side again, and you can see the mills. And all of his pistols that I've seen are just marked with the mills. I'm going to try to, again, zoom up on this mills because that's pretty neat. I don't know how it's going to take it, but and that's where they're marked, right on that side of that receiver breech. I'm going to move it up a little bit more. Lost focus. Let's see if it'll refocus. Nope. I'm going to back a hair. This is amateur videoing as we speak. Normally my grandson does this, but he's off doing his college thing. And hopefully my son can edit all the bad stuff out. But anyway, that's the way it looks on the marking. And again, this is one of his first set of pistols. This is an early set. And he never engraved them. Like I said, there's 2 or 3 clues, which that's listed in the Kentucky Gunmaker's book that Shelby Galeen put out. And there's some pistols, or pictures of a couple pistols, and one with it marked like this. And it details the early pistols being engraved and with this the Mills mark only instead of Benjamin B. Mills, Harrisburg, Kentucky. And another footnote on Harrisburg. Harrisburg's one of the first forts in the state of Kentucky, and I believe the date on it was either 1773 or 1774. And his house is gone, but his shop, parts of his shop, are still there in Bardstown, or in Harrisburg. I'm in Bardstown here, in Harrisburg, and there's a big state plaque that lists him there, you know, as one of the fine gun makers of Kentucky. But we're going to go down. I'm going to try to move back and up so you can see a little bit of, hopefully get a little bit of that rear sight. That's better. There you go. You can see how it's chased around the rim of that saw handle there with that angular etch engraving. And the other one's identical, so we don't have to photograph it. And they're not serial numbered. These are just a matched set. Absolutely matched. And let's see if we can, again, I'm going to stop on Mills. Let's see if I get a little bit better angle. I don't want to make you all dizzy, but we're going to try, if I can. My camera's not going to let me do it. So I'm going to turn it off, and we'll get the end of the barrel and the riflings here, hopefully. Okay, this is about as good a shot I'm going to get on the riflings, but he had real nice, tight riflings like a match gun. And with my camera, it is not 100% cooperating with me today. But again, this is the finest pair of match set of Benjamin & Mills Harrisburg, Kentucky pistols, and the earliest set known. And so it's been a pleasure to get this on video. I wanted to get on video because it's kind of personal to me, because it is close to my hometown here at Bardstown. And he was just an excellent builder. And that Kid Carson connection, you know, Kid Carson was a famous scout and mountain man, and for him to come all the way from out west to Kentucky to actually search out for Ben Mills and buy his rifles, and I'm sure he took some pistols with him for the John Fremont expedition in 1842. So that's pretty significant. And then his history, you know, with Harper's Ferry, and then his history working for the South on pistols. So he was a colorful character, and he lived a long life. So I'm going to turn the camera off and take one more picture of them together, one laying one way, one laying the other, and then we'll call it a day from the old guru. So bear with me. All right, I wanted to get the underside. I forgot about this. It's got a cap box in the bottom of the handle. And I'm going to try to reach around there and not confuse anybody and open it up. Kenny Rogers is holding it for me. There's a little cavity there. And I'm going to shut it again. And you can see, I'm gonna try to zoom in a little bit more, so you can see the engraving on it also. There we go. And you can see the trigger guard. If you look to the right of it, it's engraved. This is a real cool set. So let me lay them down there, one going one way, one going the other, and that'll be the final shot. Right here. All right, here we are with the final shot. This is a pretty good picture of it. I'm just going to let it sit there, because if you're watching that on a large TV, you can get a good look at it. Take your time looking at it. I'll leave it up here for a few seconds. And of course, I guess the last thing, value. These things are in a match set, the only one known in the world. You know, the price since the book's been out, everybody now knows who Ben Mills is. These things, it could be easy $15,000 to $20,000 for the pair. This is just the only known set. So, you know, it's been a treat for me to show them to you. And please forgive me for my bad camera work. And hope my grandson gets out of college here for Christmas, and we're going to shoot some more of it. We hope to shoot a couple more before Christmas, because we've been kind of out. We've been doing another project. So from the old Civil War guru, have a great day.